I have this story and then I have one more story, okay? Both of these are juicy, so stay with me, don't go anywhere. Am I the asshole for cutting off my best friend after she started dating my brother? Even though I told both of them I was uncomfortable with it. My best friend, female, and my little brother, male, are now dating. I'm struggling with whether I'm justified in cutting her off completely. Before anything happened, both of them separately called me to tell me that they had feelings for each other and to basically ask for my blessing. I was very honest and told them that I was not comfortable with it at all and I didn't think it was a good idea. I explained that it would hurt me and potentially damage multiple relationships. Despite this, they decided to move forward anyway. For context, they both live in the same town for university while I live in a different town with my boyfriend. Leading up to this, I had already been suspicious that something was going on between them. Over Christmas, when I was home with both of them, I definitely picked up on vibes that made me uncomfortable, even though nothing had been confirmed yet. Another big reason I was so against this prior to this is that my friend and I were already having issues in our relationship. I also have serious concerns about compatibility and patterns I've seen over the years. My friend lives a very party-focused life and is heavily involved in drugs and partying, and she has cheated in her last 2 relationships. My brother is the complete opposite. He's very academically focused, athletic, outdoorsy, and generally lives a much more structured and healthy life. Because of how different they are, I genuinely worry about him getting hurt. Because of this, I called my brother to explain everything honestly, not to control him, but to warn him, because I care about him. I told him how uncomfortable I was and how much this hurt me. He acknowledged my feelings and we are still speaking, but he has chosen to continue the relationship anyway. As for my friend, this situation was the final straw for me. Between the existing issues in our friendship and the fact that she went ahead with this knowing how strongly I feel, I've decided to cut her off completely. So, am I the asshole for cutting off my best friend, even though they asked my permission? I said no, and they did it anyway. So this is a common trope, right? Like the best friend and the brother falling for each other. Like it's the plot of like so many rom-coms, right? Always a messy situation, never goes smoothly. It's quite a delicate situation, I think, just overall, okay? You have this bond with your friend that you don't want to lose. You have this relationship with your brother that you're protective over. Now there's feelings developing between these two, and if they started dating, you could end up losing one of them. You could end up losing both of them. And a lot of times if it's kept from you, like if it's kept a secret from you, there's a sense of betrayal as well. So yeah, I think it's a very difficult situation to navigate, but there's a way to do it. There's a healthy way to do it. Here in this story, OP, I hate to say it, man, but I think they checked all the boxes. Both your brother and your best friend called you separately. They told you what was going on before anything started between them. Like there's no sneaky business going on over here, okay, as far as I can tell. Now OP does mention over here that she was already suspicious of something going on because she sent some vibes during Christmas, and to give them the benefit of the doubt there, I think that would have been the stage where they were kind of in this maybe flirty, little awkward stage. So when nothing's official yet, I don't really think it's fair to expect them to disclose something to you at that stage when they themselves have probably not had the conversation between themselves at that point. Now, OP brings up a couple of points here, okay, which we should address of why she's not comfortable with them dating. One is that she and a friend are already in a rough patch in their relationship with each other, and she believes that her friend dating her brother will just make things worse between them. I agree that it might make things a little awkward between y'all. You probably have to see her around the house a little more than you want to, and that might be like a little awkward when there's like a little tension between the two of you already. But I don't think that's a good enough reason to ask them not to date, especially when you live in a different town from the two of them. So I don't think you're going to run into her as often as you think you would. Like definitely awkward, but not a good enough reason to tell them not to date. Another reason is her friend's lifestyles, and she says that her friend is like a party girl and she's into drugs and stuff. And she also mentions that her friend has cheated in her last 2 relationships. About the partying and the drugs, that's really not your place, to be very honest. Like I know that he's your brother, but he's an adult. You think he doesn't know about her lifestyle? Like he probably knows that and he's okay with it, which is why he's interested in dating her. I don't think it's your place to worry about that. About the cheating, like that's a fair concern, I would say, okay? On one hand, you do want to look out for your brother. You don't want your younger brother to get hurt by someone who, say, you already see that cheating is a pattern in her relationships, like she does this to her partners. So I understand her concern, I guess. What you can do there is maybe first go to the friend and be like, hey, you know that you have done this in your last 2 relationships. Have you disclosed this to my brother? And then if she says she has, okay, then back off at that point, okay? There's nothing you can do. If she says she hasn't and she's not going to, then you first try to convince her to tell him. And if she still refuses to do so, then I would say you can maybe go and tell the brother that, like, hey, listen, she's cheated in the past. I'm just letting you know. And it's his decision from there, okay? Like, he can do whatever he wants then. Now, OP ends this by saying that this was the final straw and that she's cut her friend off because of this. Now, look, if the only reason that she cut a friend off was this relationship, then silly, right? Like pretty unreasonable, I think. And it would not make her the asshole, but it would be like, you could have tried a little harder, I guess, to understand them. But the fact that she mentions that they were already having issues in their relationship was hanging on a thread, basically, that changes things a little bit for me, I guess, because when I'm on my last nerve with someone, okay, like you've already done everything in the world to piss me off, this person just breathing wrongly in my direction would be enough of a reason for me to cut them off at that point, because I'm almost just looking for something at that point. So I kind of get where she's coming from. If she's already having issues with this friend of hers, and then this girl goes and decides to start dating her brother, I can see how that would be like. I can sympathize with that, I guess. So in conclusion, I think nobody's the asshole here. It's just a really unfortunate situation. This is the last and final one, by the way, and this is a juicer, okay? So stay with me. Am I the asshole for asking my girlfriend to stop talking to her ex? I, male 26, and my girlfriend, female 25, have been dating for about 4 or 5 months when she said that she's been talking with her ex and she's planning to meet up with him when she goes home out of state to see the dog that they had got in their relationship. She had mentioned that she occasionally texted her ex back when we were talking, but I didn't feel like I could ask her not to at that point in our relationship, even though that made me uncomfortable. But now she tells me that she's planning to meet up when she goes home. He lives 5 hours away and they're going to meet halfway. After asking a couple of questions, she tells me that they have been talking for about a year now over text, with it starting 6 months after they had broken up and spanning our entire relationship. She says that they text almost weekly, but she insists it's just to keep in touch about the dog that they shared. She admits though that the dog is not the only thing they talk about. She insists that there is no desire to restart the relationship. However, they broke up because of distance, not necessarily incompatibility. She has also stated that he's a very important person in her life. She has also not told him that she was in a relationship. All of these made me very uncomfortable and I explained that to her. She just kept saying that she understands, but she's unwilling to stop talking to him, and then she would say that we could keep talking about it. Eventually, I broke down and figured that I would just have to trust her at her word, that there was nothing there, on the condition that she texted him and let him know that she was in a relationship. She became very sad at the thought of texting him because she thought that it would hurt his feelings. But she eventually told him that she was seeing someone and that she still looks forward to seeing the dog. He replied, "That's chill." And she seemed to be almost taken aback that he was not upset or so nonchalant. I almost felt more convinced that she's holding on to their former relationship and not committed to me. Am I the asshole for saying that I don't trust that relationship and want her to stop talking to him altogether? So many red flags. Firstly, if your girlfriend is willing to drive 2 hours, not 2.5 hours to meet this guy, that's not her ex, okay? That's her present. And the fact that she's conveniently not mentioned to him that she's in a new relationship, the fact that she's unwilling to stop talking to him even after you express how uncomfortable it made you, and how fucking convenient is this dog? Like, it's pretty ridiculous, right? Like, there's no way to justify what she's defend her behavior at all here. I think it's fine to be in touch with your exes, okay? In fact, if you can be cordial with them, if you can maintain a healthy relationship with your exes, I think that's a great thing. However, if your partner says that he or she is uncomfortable with a certain person, especially someone that you share a history with, they should definitely get priority over there. 101%, no questions asked, cut off your ex. In this case, the guy has clear reason to be uncomfortable. Like, he's not being unreasonable in thinking that something is going on between them, or she's not over her ex yet, okay? Like, she's given a lot of reasons for him to feel this way. I think anybody would be uncomfortable in this situation, okay? This was my partner, I would be like, girl, is there a chance of you getting back together? Like, should I leave? Should I dip now? Saying you understand his concerns but are unwilling to stop talking to him is insanity, okay? Like, that is actually insane. That is you making it seem like you understand, like you want him to think you understand, but you're not actually putting in any effort to change anything. Very manipulative. Yeah, and it does suck that there's a dog involved, because I'm sure she's attached to the dog. You know, although it sounds like she's a lot more attached to the guy than she is to the dog, to be honest. Maybe you can compromise and tell her that you are okay with her going to visit the ex to see the dog, as long as you are present there as well. But it sounds like this guy, like this ex, is from her hometown, so it doesn't look like they stay very close to each other. She's probably just home for the holidays or something, and that's when she goes and sees him, or that's when she wants to go and see him. Yeah, so I don't know, the dog thing is a little bit tricky, but it's like, if he won the dog in the separation, I think you have to make your peace with that. Like, you had these good memories with the dog, but now it's his. You gotta move on with your life, get a new dog with your new partner. It is what it is. It's sad, but it is what it is. Also, I think it's very important to note that the reason that they separated was because of distance and nothing else. So there's no hard feelings between them. There wasn't like a messy breakup or anything. It was literally just distance. So all those feelings could still very much still be there. And I really feel for this guy, this new partner, because on one hand, you want to trust your partner, right? You want to believe that there's nothing going on between her and her ex, but she is making it very difficult to do that. Okay, speaking directly to the new partner now, look, bro, you're 4-5 months in, right, into the relationship. I would say run. I would say escape now. It'll definitely be tough, but doing it right now is a lot more easier than doing it, say, 1 year later or 2 years later, when you've really caught feelings. Like, it's still new, it'll hurt a little bit, but you gotta do it for your own sanity. I think if you asked her to stop talking to this ex and she's not willing to let it go, you asked her multiple times, she said no, she's not really hearing you at all, just get out, okay? This is for your own good, I'm telling you. It'll hurt, it will hurt way more when you have to do it 2 years, 3 years later, okay? When you when you're deep into the relationship. Run. Yeah, so OP, definitely not the asshole. I'm rooting for you, you'll find someone else. Girlfriend, asshole. Jail. terrible. And that was our final post. That's all I have for today. I hope that all of you watching can also take something away from this. Actually, to be honest, I hope none of y'all can relate to anything that was said in these posts. These situations sound terrible, and I hope none of y'all are going through anything like that. And I hope if you are going through something similar, or if you are going through a rough spot in your relationship, you're able to navigate it and communicate with your partner, and you'll get through it, and or your friend or whoever. Communication is key. A lot of times things get solved just by talking. Just by talking, you realize how stupid it was that you were holding on to this false perception of them in your head, you know, when it could so easily be resolved over a conversation. And a lot of times, from what we've seen in the stories, communication doesn't work, so what the hell do I know? Just our last story was an example of that. So you can take my advice with a grain of salt, honestly. Yeah, so if you're still here, thank you for watching till the end. Bye-bye, and see you in the next one.